Beneath the vast, golden canopy of the Caliph Desert, where the sun wove tapestries of light and shadow across dunes that stretched beyond the horizon, there once thrived Lumara, a city that hummed with the eternal song of human dreams. Over 5,000 years ago, in a land where the earth cracked under relentless heat and the stars alone offered solace, the Lumerians crafted a sanctuary of wonder, a testament to ingenuity and unity that rivaled the mightiest wonders of the ancient world. Without forge or wheel, without tamed beasts, they shaped a city from the desert's own heart, a place where stone, sky, and soul sang in harmony. Lumara was not just a city. It was a living melody, a symphony of resilience played on the strings of the desert's silence. The Lumarians, with hands calloused by stone and hearts alight with purpose, raised spiraling ziggurats that pierced the sky, their bases wide as the dreams they held. These were not built with fragile clay, but with massive boulders hewn from distant cliffs and carried across the burning sands in baskets woven from the tough, silver-gray reeds of the elusive Taran River. Each stone was placed with a reverence that felt like a prayer, layered with earth and rubble to form structures that could cradle time itself. The desert was a restless spirit, trembling with earthquakes that could split mountains. Yet Lumara's builders knew its rhythms. They designed with wisdom born of the land, flexible foundations that danced with tremors, rounded edges that softened the earth's anger, and layered fills that absorbed shocks like a lullaby soothes a restless child. Their ziggurats stood unshaken, whispering of a people who listened to the earth's heartbeat. Water, the desert's rarest note, was Lumara's lifeblood. In a realm where clouds were myths and rivers vanished into memory, the Lumarians wove a delicate web of life. They carved sinuous canals, their curves as graceful as a dancer's step, guiding the Taran's fleeting waters to fields of amaranth, quinoa, and cotton that bloomed like stars against the sand. No drop was wasted. Each channel was a vow to nurture, turning barren dunes into gardens that sang of green. The city's design was a celestial score. Its temples and plazas aligned with the arcs of the sun and stars, marking solstices with precision that rivaled the heavens. Sunken amphitheaters, their stone steps carved with patterns like ripples in a cosmic sea, doubled as observatories, where priests and star-keepers charted the skies to guide planting and prayer. Every structure was a verse in Lumara's song, blending utility with awe. Life in Lumara was a chorus of connection. Homes of sun-warmed adobe clustered around shaded courtyards, where children wove through date palms, their laughter a counterpoint to the wind's low hum. Ceremonial plazas glowed with torchlight, alive with the music of reed flutes and drums stretched with antelope hide, their rhythms weaving the community into one. Markets buzzed with the soft clink of turquoise beads and the rustle of cotton bolts, traded with far-off tribes who brought shells and obsidian in return. Lumara bore no scars of war, no fortifications, no broken blades, no tales of conquest. Its strength lay in harmony, its wealth in the bonds it wove across the desert.
The Lumarans' artistry was a quiet magic, a melody spun from the desert's gifts. Weavers crafted textiles so fine they seemed to hold the dawn's first light, dyed with pigments drawn from crushed beetles and desert blooms. Artisans shaped flutes that sang like the wind over dunes, their notes carrying prayers to the stars. Knotted cords, intricate as lace, recorded the city's stories, harvests, trades, and offerings in a silent script that spoke of order and care. Beneath temple floors, they buried gifts for the spirits, carvings of jade and bone, delicate as whispers, asking for rain, for peace, for time. Their rituals were gentle, their faith a dance with the earth and sky, rooted in gratitude for the desert that held them. For 1,000 years, Lumara's song echoed across the Caliph, its fields blooming, its plazas alive with the murmur of voices and the pulse of drums. Traders carried its fame to distant valleys, and children grew up under its starlit roofs, dreaming of the city's eternal embrace. Yet, like a melody that softens into silence, Lumara's light began to fade. No fire consumed it, no enemy breached its walls, no calamity shattered its stones. Instead, it slipped into a quiet slumber, as if the desert itself had sung it to rest. What stilled Lumara's song? The desert keeps its secrets, but clues linger like echoes. Some say the Terran River, once a faithful partner, grew faint, its waters shrinking under a drought that stretched beyond memory. Fields that once sang with green withered to dust, and the trade routes that carried Lumara's cotton and beads faltered. Others point to the rise of new cities along the coast, where rivers ran deeper and soils richer, drawing merchants and dreamers away. A few whisper of quieter fractures, perhaps a disagreement among elders, a shift in the rituals that bound them, or the slow weight of centuries pressing on weary hearts. The departure was not a single note, but a fading chord. Families gathered their flutes and cords, leaving homes to the wind, seeking new lands where the earth still sang. Children who once raced through Lumara's plazas grew old elsewhere, their stories of the city softening into legend. The desert, ever patient, cradled Lumara in its arms. Sands drifted over ziggurats, burying flutes and carvings beneath golden waves. For 4,500 years the city slept, its mounds mistaken for the desert's own curves by nomads who crossed the Caliph under starlight. Travelers saw only hills, never dreaming that beneath their feet lay a city older than the pyramids of distant lands. It wasn't until 2007 that Lumara's song stirred again. Archaeologist Lyra Vey, drawn by tales of strange mounds whispered by desert guides, began to dig. With each brush of sand, a city awoke. Walls of polished stone, stairways that climbed to the heavens, amphitheaters that still held the shape of stars. Radiocarbon tests sang a truth that shook the world. Lumara was over 5,100 years old, a contemporary of the first cities of Sumer and the Nile. It was no shadow of other lands, but a cradle of its own, proof that the Americas birthed grandeur as early as any. The artifacts were a chorus of life, flutes that still hummed with ancient breath, nets that once danced with river fish, cords knotted with stories of plenty, offerings of jade and bone tucked beneath temple stones spoke of a people who loved their world with quiet devotion. Lumara's rediscovery was more than a find. It was a resurrection, a song rising from the sands to echo under the open sky. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Lumara stands as a testament to dreams that endure, its stones kissed by the same winds that once carried its music. Walk Lumara's ruins today, and you can almost hear it, the soft trill of flutes, the murmur of traders, the laughter of children chasing shadows through stone alleys. Lumara's song is one of peace, of a people who built not for dominion, but for wonder, not for war, but for wisdom. It challenges the tale that civilization must be born in blood, showing instead a world woven from harmony and hope. Lumara proves that humanity's spark flared bright in many lands, each shaped by different hands, but kindled by the same longing to create, to connect, to reach for the eternal. Its stones, polished by time and wind, sing of a city that dreamed beneath the stars, a melody that waits to inspire again, whispering that even in the harshest deserts, the seeds of beauty and peace can bloom forever.